I swear you're too quiet, Lara said, laughing as she lifted her glass. Do you even hear us? I hear everything, I replied softly. Sam glanced at me and shrugged. That's him. Reliable. Invisible. Victor leaned back in his chair, smiling like he owned the room. Some people are born leaders. Others are born background. I smiled because that was easier than explaining myself. At work, silence kept me safe. At home, it made me a joke. You didn't say a word during dinner, Lara said later, loud enough for everyone to hear. Are you bored or are you just being you? I was listening, I said. To what? She asked. Your own thoughts. Everyone laughed. I laughed too. Not because it was funny, but because silence hurt less than arguing. Sam leaned toward me. Man, you should really stand up for yourself. I'm fine, I said. Victor raised his glass. To patience, he said, smirking. Some people mistake it for strength. I met his eyes and nodded. Some people do. Lara rolled her eyes. See? That's what I mean. No fire. No passion. Sometimes I forget you're even here. I wanted to say I was tired. I wanted to say I noticed everything. Instead, I said nothing. That night at home, Lara kicked off her shoes. You embarrassed me. I didn't say anything, I replied. Exactly, she snapped. A man should say something. What would you like me to say? I asked. She stared at me. Anything. Just not silence. I nodded. I'll try. She sighed like she was already disappointed. You always say that. At work the next day, Victor clapped his hands. Meeting in 5 minutes. I opened my notebook. Dates. Numbers. Small details people ignored. Sam whispered, Why do you write everything down? Habit, I said. Victor glanced over. Planning a novel? Just notes, I replied. He laughed. Careful. Thinking too much can be dangerous. Lara walked in late and sat beside Victor. She didn't look at me. During lunch, Sam nudged me. You okay? I'm good, I said. You always say that. I smiled. It's usually true. That evening, we attended a company party. Music was loud. People were louder. Why don't you talk more? One of Lara's friends asked. I prefer listening, I said. She laughed. That's cute. Or sad. I can't tell. Lara leaned in. He's like that. Calm. Too calm. Victor joined us. Some men just don't have ambition. I nodded. Ambition doesn't always shout. Victor smirked. Sure. Later, Lara stood on a chair, tipsy and smiling. Can I say something? People cheered. She pointed at me. This man right here? He wouldn't even fight back if I replaced him. Laughter exploded around us. I felt it then. Not anger. Not rage. Something quieter. I smiled. Because silence had always protected me. But something inside me cracked and I knew it would never be quiet again. I didn't expect to hear their voices. Not like that. Not through the thin walls of the office. He doesn't notice anything, Lara whispered. Victor's laugh, low and sharp, followed. That's why it's perfect. No one suspects a quiet man. I froze. My pen hovered over my notebook, words unformed. Lara, I can't believe he's this naive. He actually trusts me. Victor, naive? He's patient. Calculated. But he's blind to us. Makes everything easier. My chest tightened. I wanted to speak, to yell. But I stayed silent. They didn't hear me. And the performance reports, Victor continued. I'll handle them. He'll never see it coming. By next month he's out. Lara, I love the way you plan, Victor. I mean, us. Everything is falling into place. I closed my notebook slowly. Every line I'd written, every email I'd saved, they were my shield now. Maybe he suspects something, Lara said softly. Victor, no. He's too quiet. Too predictable. Patience is his weapon, but right now it's his weakness. I gritted my teeth. Weakness. I wanted to storm in, slam my fist on the desk and scream, but instead I walked away. Back in my office, Sam noticed. You okay, man? You look pale. I'm fine, I said. You don't sound fine. I smiled faintly. I just heard something. Nothing serious. He studied me. You're lying. Again. I nodded. Maybe. That evening, Lara texted me, dinner tonight. Be on time. When I arrived, she was already smiling. Too calm. Too bright. You're late, she said. Not like you. I was busy, I replied. She laughed. Busy? Or hiding something? I'm listening, I said. To what? To everything, I whispered. She shook her head. You always have to be so serious. It's exhausting. I didn't respond. Later at the table she leaned toward Victor across the room. He's too predictable. You saw that. Victor grinned. Yes, I always knew. That silence is his cage. He doesn't even know it yet. I swallowed hard. I wanted to shout, you're wrong. I see everything. Instead I smiled. A polite, empty smile. After dinner we walked outside. The city lights flickered above us. You know, Lara said, you're funny sometimes. If only you'd show it. I prefer watching, I said. She laughed. You always hide. I think I love teasing you more than anything else. I've noticed. Good, she said. Then paused. But sometimes, you make me wonder why I even bother. The words cut deeper than I expected. I didn't reply. Silence was easier. Silence was my weapon. Later back home I opened my laptop. I checked my documents, emails, spreadsheets, secret notes from meetings. Everything I had quietly collected. Sam had always asked why I bothered documenting small details. Now it mattered. More than ever. I whispered to myself, patience is strength. But my hands shook. Strength felt brittle tonight. A knock on the door startled me. It was Lara smiling sweetly. Why are you up so late? She asked. I work late, I said. Her gaze lingered. You've been distant lately. Something on your mind? I shook my head. No. Just thinking. You're thinking too much, she said. Then laughed. You should relax. Loosen up. I am relaxed, I said calmly. She smiled, unaware. You're perfect, you know. Perfect in your silence. Almost too perfect. I didn't answer. My throat felt tight. As she turned to leave, she whispered, he's never going to fight back. That's why I love him, and why I can do anything. I watched her go. And in the quiet of my room, I finally allowed a thought to form. I see you. I've always seen you. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. My chest ached, a mix of betrayal and resolve. I wouldn't confront them yet. Not tonight. Not when patience could be my ally. But something had shifted. The quiet man they mocked would never be the same again. And tomorrow, I would begin to plan. The morning sunlight felt sharp as I walked into the office. Sam was at my desk. You look different, he said. Different how? I asked. Focused. Not just quiet. Like you're planning something. I am, I said, opening my notebook. Numbers, emails, small details, all the little things people missed. Planning revenge? He whispered. Not revenge, I said. Strategy. Sam raised his eyebrows. There's a difference? I smiled faintly. A small one. But it matters. Victor appeared suddenly, leaning against the doorway. Morning, quiet man. Busy as always. Just making sure everything is right, I replied. Victor laughed. Perfection can be exhausting. It keeps mistakes away, I said calmly. He smirked. Maybe. Or it keeps you in your little cage. I didn't flinch. I made a note in my folder. Later I saw Lara talking with Victor near the coffee machine. She's perfect at pretending, Victor said. Lara laughed. You mean he's perfect at not noticing anything? I swear, sometimes I feel like he's invisible. I passed behind them. My voice low but clear, I see everything. They turned quickly. Lara's smile faltered. Victor's eyes narrowed. I didn't hear anything, Lara said. Just a reminder, I said and walked away. In my office, Sam leaned closer. You really are calm. I have to be, I said. Anger clouds judgment. You're planning something big, aren't you? Careful, Sam. I don't share plans. He laughed nervously. Fair. Just don't go quiet forever, okay? You'll choke on it. I won't, I promised. By afternoon, I reached out to Mr. Hahn. My mentor, retired but sharp. Quiet men often get crushed, he said over the phone. I know, I replied. But they survive better than loud ones, he added. Don't forget why you stayed silent. Don't waste it now. I haven't, I said. You're careful, he said. Good. But be ready to act when the time comes. I am, I assured him. Later I spoke with Elena, the compliance officer. She hesitated before speaking. Something's off, she said quietly. Victor, he's under review. You didn't hear it from me. I won't, I said. Just be careful, she warned. I always am, I said, closing my laptop. During lunch, Lara approached me. You've been distant. Thinking about work too much? I'm always thinking, I said. Thinking isn't enough, she said, smirking. Sometimes people act. Some people plan, I replied. She paused. You're different lately. I can feel it. Your silence has weight now. I smiled faintly. It always did. That evening Victor held a meeting. We need results, he said, scanning the room. I kept quiet, letting others speak. Notes in my folder, quietly recording everything. Lara leaned toward Victor, whispering something I didn't catch. But I caught the tone. Planning. Scheming. Always scheming. I smiled inside. Let them talk. Let them laugh. I was already steps ahead. Sam nudged me. You're calm. Too calm. I think you're scary now. I've learned, I said. Sometimes silence is louder than anger. By the end of the day, I closed my folder and packed my bag. In the empty elevator, I whispered to myself, patience is my weapon. Silence is my shield. And soon, everything will change. The quiet man they thought they knew was preparing for something they couldn't imagine. And tomorrow the strategy begins in earnest. I walked into the office with my resignation letter in hand. Sam noticed immediately. You're serious? He asked, eyes wide. I am, I said calmly. You're not joking? No jokes today, I replied. Victor appeared from the doorway, grinning. What's this? Planning to quit? Yes, I said. Effective immediately. He laughed. You? Quiet, invisible, you think this is dramatic? I think it's necessary, I said. Lara arrived then wearing that same smile. What's going on? I'm leaving, I said, handing my letter to HR. You're joking, she said, voice sharp. You can't just. I can, I interrupted. And I am. Victor looked shocked, though he tried not to show it. Are you sure about this? Yes, I said. Absolutely. She laughed. You'll regret this. You're too quiet. You don't even know what you're giving up. I know exactly what I'm giving up, I said. And what I'm keeping. You mean your dignity? She sneered. I smiled faintly. Something like that. Sam whispered, Man, you're bold. I didn't think you had it in you. I've had it, I said. Just waiting for the right moment. Victor stepped closer. You're not thinking this through. What about the projects? The team? Your position? I've thought about everything, I said. That's why I'm leaving on my terms. Lara's expression shifted. Panic? Confusion? What terms? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Later, at my desk, I forwarded critical documents to the board. Financial reports, emails, evidence of misconduct. I left nothing ambiguous. Victor walked by. What are you doing? Cleaning up, I said. He raised an eyebrow. You really planned this? Yes, I said calmly. I always plan. Lara's phone buzzed. She read a message and paled. What's wrong? I asked. Nothing, she said quickly, but her hands trembled. You're lying, I said softly. She swallowed. You wouldn't? I would, I said. If I needed to protect myself. You're cruel, she said, voice trembling. Or careful, I replied. Victor tried to step in. What's she talking about? She knows, I said. All of it. He stared at me. How? I don't need to explain, I said. By mid-afternoon, the board had acknowledged my resignation. Lara tried to act confident, but I saw the cracks forming. You think you're winning? She hissed when we were alone. You think leaving will hurt me? You have no idea. I think leaving will save me, I said. And teach you a lesson you won't forget. She laughed bitterly. Lesson? You think a quiet man can teach anyone anything? I smiled faintly. Watch me. That evening Sam checked in. So, this is it? Yes, I said. This is it. But not the end. Not the end. No, I said. It's the beginning. Of something bigger. Later, Lara tried one last time to manipulate me emotionally. You're making a mistake. I loved you. Don't do this. I looked at her carefully. Love isn't blind. But patience has limits. And I've reached mine. Her eyes widened. You're serious? Entirely, I said. The elevator doors closed behind me that night, carrying me away from the office I'd served quietly for years. I whispered to myself, the quiet man they mocked just walked out on his own terms. And somewhere deep inside I felt the first real stirrings of something long buried, resolve. Patience had protected me. Silence had shielded me. Now action would define me. And tomorrow the consequences begin. The next morning I watched from a distance. Sam called me. They're panicking, he whispered. Victor looks off. Good, I said softly. Let them. I can't believe how fast this is happening, Sam continued. Lara, she doesn't know what hit her. She's about to find out, I said. At the office, Victor rushed into a meeting, papers in hand. We need to explain these numbers. No excuses, I whispered to myself. Lara hovered near him. Her usual confidence faltered. I don't understand. How did this happen? You underestimated him, Victor said angrily. He's always been quiet, yes, but predictable, I murmured under my breath. Victor stared at the emails I had forwarded. These reports, these are from me? Yes, I said quietly. And no one else. Lara's face turned pale. You didn't. I did, I said calm as ever. Everything you thought was safe, isn't. Her voice shook. I thought he would just leave quietly. I didn't think he could. Act. I said, finishing her thought. Yes, she whispered. I watched as panic crept into the room. People murmured. Some glanced at me knowingly. Others whispered behind hands. Sam nudged me. You're terrifying. I learned from silence, I said. Elena appeared nearby, whispering to a colleague. The board is reviewing everything. They have the emails. They have the evidence. Victor and Lara? Already? I said under my breath. Yes, she replied without looking at me. Lara turned toward me, her voice trembling. You planned this? I planned nothing but my own exit, I said. Everything else is natural consequences. Her eyes filled with tears. I didn't think you. Don't say it, I said. You won't understand until it's too late. Victor slammed a folder on the table. How did he know? How did he? I didn't know, I said softly. I just prepared. Carefully. You're insane, Lara said. Or patient, I replied. Her phone buzzed. She read a message and froze. What is this? Your life unraveling, I said quietly. Piece by piece. All the things you thought you controlled, slipping. Victor's hands shook. He can't do this. He's just quiet. Invisible. Nothing more. I smiled faintly. Quiet doesn't mean weak. It means watchful. It means calculating. And sometimes, it means unstoppable. Maya, Lara's friend, appeared at the edge of the room. She glanced at Lara. Maybe, you should have seen it coming, she said softly. I didn't know, Lara whispered, tears streaming. You didn't pay attention, I said. That's the difference. Later I stepped into the elevator, alone. My chest felt lighter. Sam's voice came through my phone. You did it? I didn't think quiet could be so loud. I always knew, I said. That was amazing, he said. Not amazing, I corrected. Necessary. That evening Lara called me. I ignored it. She texted, I need to talk. Please. I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my folder, reviewing the emails, the reports, the evidence I had quietly collected for months. Everything was in place. Karma was working quietly like I always had. No shouting. No confrontation. Just patience. Just proof. And as I looked out the window at the city lights, I whispered to myself, sometimes the quietest voices echo the loudest. Tomorrow the real consequences will fully hit. And I will be watching. I arrived at the office early. The building was quiet, almost empty. Sam met me near the elevators. Victor's missing, he whispered. Lara looks like she's about to explode. Good, I said. Let them squirm. You're calm, Sam said. Too calm. It's unsettling. I've learned, I replied. Power isn't about yelling. It's about waiting. Elena appeared behind us. The board wants statements. All of you. Lara, Victor, they want answers. Already? Sam asked. Yes, she said. And I think they're going to get more than they expect. I smiled faintly. That's the point. Later, Lara stormed past me, her heels clicking loudly. You think you're clever, she said, voice trembling. You think silence saves you. But it won't. It already has, I replied. You don't understand, she shouted. You'll regret this. Regret is yours, I said softly. Victor appeared behind her. Don't talk to him. He's dangerous. I've always been dangerous, I said. You just didn't notice. He froze, eyes widening. I could see the panic forming. The arrogance he carried for months was cracking. Lara's hand shook. You're ruining everything. You can't. I already have, I said calmly. I left quietly. I let the truth speak. She glared at me. Quietly? You call this quiet? I smiled faintly. I do. Quiet is invisible until it's undeniable. Sam nudged me. You really are in control now. I've always been in control, I said. Elena returned looking uneasy. The board is reviewing all communications. Victor's behavior, Lara's complicity, it's coming to light. Fast. I nodded. I suspected as much. Lara's voice cut through the silence. You think you've won. But You lost, I interrupted. It's too late for Your choices brought you here. Her lips trembled. You're cold? I'm careful, I corrected. Cold isn't the same as careful. Victor slammed his hand on a desk. How did you plan all this? You didn't even speak up for months. I watched, I said. I listened. I recorded. I prepared. That's how. Lara's knees went weak. I didn't know, you were always aware. Exactly, I said softly. Awareness doesn't need noise. It needs patience. Sam leaned toward me. You're not just quiet. You're lethal in your silence. I wouldn't call it lethal, I said. I'd call it effective. Later, the board called Victor into a private meeting. I watched as he left, shoulders tense, confidence gone. Lara followed, pleading silently. Please, she whispered, looking back at me. I didn't move. I didn't respond. I let her see everything she had caused. Back in the empty office, Sam spoke. You could have destroyed them in a minute. I didn't destroy them, I said. I let consequences do their work. He frowned. You're scary, man. Patient and scary. I've learned, I said. Loud people fall fastest. Quiet people wait. That evening, Lara tried one last attempt. She approached me as I packed my things. I need to talk. You've had enough chances, I said. I didn't mean. I know, I said. But knowing doesn't erase the damage. She looked like she wanted to cry. You're better than me. I don't want to be better, I said. I just want to be free of lies. Victor's office was empty. His arrogance gone, replaced by fear. Lara's laughter had vanished. She was shrinking before the weight of her choices. I whispered to myself, patience protects. Silence strengthens. And truth always finds its way. By the end of the day, the power had shifted. Not loudly. Not with a fight. But undeniably. And I, the quiet man, watched as everything they built on arrogance and cruelty began to crumble. I didn't expect her to show up. Lara appeared at my door, her eyes red, voice trembling. I need to talk. I leaned against the doorframe. Talk. But don't expect forgiveness. She swallowed. I didn't think. I never thought you'd. You underestimated me, I said softly. Her hands shook. I didn't know, you were always aware. I thought silence meant weakness. It doesn't, I said. It means patience. It means watching. It means learning before acting. She looked down. I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. I know, I replied. But that doesn't change what you did. Her voice cracked. Victor, he convinced me. I didn't realize. I was wrong. You were aware enough to choose, I said. Tears fell down her cheeks. I loved you. I thought you'd never notice. I thought I could get away with it. You noticed, I said. Always. I can't believe you're calm, she whispered. I have to be, I said. Calm is my strength. Silence is my shield. Victor called her phone repeatedly. She ignored it. You're cold, she said finally. I'm careful, I corrected. Cold doesn't fix mistakes. Careful prevents them. I didn't see it, she said. I didn't think you'd plan. I said. I didn't plan revenge. I planned survival. Everything else is natural consequences. Her lips trembled. I thought patience was weakness. I thought silence meant I could do anything. Silence is never weakness, I said quietly. It's strength you don't understand. She tried to step closer. Please, I can fix this. I can make it right. No, I said firmly. It's too late. You had your chance. Victor left a message. Her phone buzzed. She looked at it, panic rising. He's trying to save himself. I didn't think. You thought wrong, I said softly. She sank into a chair. I regret everything. I never realized how blind I was. Regret is heavy, I said. And it comes too late sometimes. I didn't mean. You did, I said. But intention doesn't erase consequences. Her voice broke. I wish I had seen you. Truly seen you. You were too busy seeing what you wanted, I said. She buried her face in her hands. I can't undo it. I know, I said. And that's the point. Sam knocked softly at the door. Everything okay? Better than it was, I said. Laura looked up at me. You're not angry? I am, I said. Angry at what was done, yes. But I've learned, anger is loud. Patience is quiet. And quiet wins. She swallowed. I don't deserve. You deserve to learn, I said. But I don't need to punish you. Life does that. Victor left another message. She ignored it. I didn't. You were always smarter than me, she whispered. Not smarter, I said. Careful. Observant. Patient. She nodded slowly. I see that now. Too late. Yes, I said. Too late. She stood trembling. I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone now. You should, I said. I watched her walk away, realizing something I had known all along. Some lessons only hit when it's too late. I turned to the window looking at the city lights. Quietly, I whispered to myself, patience protects. Silence teaches. And consequences always arrive. Sam appeared beside me. You handled that perfectly. I had no choice, I said. Silence isn't empty. It's careful. And it speaks louder than words when the time comes. By nightfall, Victor's arrogance had crumbled. Lara's confidence had shattered. And I, finally, felt a strange relief, like a storm had passed quietly without a single shout. Tomorrow their world continues to unravel. And I, the quiet man, will watch. I arrived at the office early just as the lights flicked on. The silence felt different today, tense, expectant. Sam approached me whispering. It's happening. The board's meeting, they're reviewing everything. Good, I said softly. Let them see the truth. Lara appeared moments later, her heels clicking nervously. You're still calm, she said, voice shaking. I thought you'd be angry yelling. I don't need to yell, I said. Silence has its own power. Victor stormed in, trying to salvage confidence. We can explain this. There's been a misunderstanding. Not really, I said quietly. You made choices. The consequences are yours. He glanced at Lara. This isn't real. He wouldn't. I did, I said. And I'm done pretending otherwise. The board entered, calm and formal. Lara's face drained of color. We have received all documentation, the chairperson began. Emails, reports, correspondence, everything. Mr. Reed, she said looking at me, we appreciate your honesty. You're welcome, I said softly. Lara whispered. You gave them everything? Yes, I said. Nothing hidden. Nothing altered. Just the truth. Victor's hands trembled. This can't happen. Too late, I said. Everything you built on lies and arrogance is falling naturally. Maya appeared near Lara. You should have seen this coming, she said softly. I didn't, Lara whispered. I thought. Enough excuses, I said firmly. Your actions have consequences. The board reviewed the documents quietly. I stayed calm. The power had shifted, but I said nothing. Victor's face was pale. You planned all this quietly. I didn't notice anything. I wasn't hiding, I said. I was observing. Patient. Waiting. Lara's voice trembled. You're cruel. I'm careful, I said. Careful doesn't mean cruel. The chairperson looked at Victor. Your conduct is unacceptable. Effective immediately, you are suspended pending further review. Victor swallowed hard. I understand. Lara's eyes widened. Suspended? Yes, I said softly. And you, Ms. Lara, will be asked to provide a full statement regarding your involvement. She shook. You can't do this. Life is doing it for me, I said. I only stayed silent long enough for it to happen naturally. Sam whispered, Wow. That's incredible. I've learned, I said quietly. Patience wins where noise fails. Elena approached me. The compliance review, it's going to hit hard. But it's accurate. Fair. I don't need fairness, I said. I need truth. Lara's voice cracked. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Intentions don't erase reality, I said softly. Victor's phone buzzed nonstop. He ignored it. Panic was spreading in the room, subtle but undeniable. Maya shook her head. Some lessons can't be escaped. I see that now, Lara whispered, tears running down her cheeks. And it's too late. Yes, I said. Too late for apologies. Too late for excuses. Too late to pretend silence is weakness. The meeting concluded. Victor left, shoulders slumped. Lara followed, glancing at me one last time. Her confidence, her arrogance, gone. Sam approached. That was something else. You didn't say a word, but you controlled the room. Silence speaks louder than shouting, I said. Later, I returned to my empty office. I checked my folder one last time. Emails, evidence, everything complete. Karma was doing its work. Quietly, naturally. I whispered to myself, patience protects. Silence teaches. Consequences arrive. By the end of the day, the fall was undeniable. Victor's power stripped away. Lara's influence gone. The office, once filled with arrogance and mockery, now moved cautiously. Everyone knew a quiet man had shifted the balance. And I, still calm, still silent, watched. No one escaped the natural fallout of their own choices. And I finally felt free. The office was quiet. Too quiet. But this time it felt right. Sam whispered, "You're finally free?" "I am," I said. Free of silence that protected me. Free of people who mocked me. Free of lies. Lara appeared at the doorway, shoulders slumped, eyes red. You can't just leave me like this." "I don't need to leave you," I said calmly. "You've already left yourself." I made a mistake," she said. "Please?" "I know," I interrupted. "And knowing doesn't change the consequences." Victor appeared behind her, pale and tense. I never thought he would." "Plan?" I said softly. "I didn't plan revenge. I prepared for survival. Everything else is the natural outcome." Lara's voice trembled. You're different now. You're not the man I thought I knew." "I've never been the man you thought you knew," I said. "You just refused to see me." Victor swallowed. You've taken control. Quietly but completely." "I've always had control," I said. "I just never shouted about it." Sam stepped beside me. "You're amazing." Calm, quiet, and somehow unstoppable. "I wouldn't call it amazing," I said. "I'd call it necessary." Lara's lips trembled. I loved you. I thought silence meant weakness. I thought I could do anything." "You did," I said softly. "And look where it brought you." Her voice cracked. I didn't understand. I didn't see you. You chose not to," I said. "Patience wasn't weakness. Silence wasn't nothing. And now you understand too late." Victor tried again. "You could have spoken up. Warned us. Prevented this." "I chose not to," I said. "Because they say patience is wasted on fools. But it's wasted on the arrogant too." She whispered, tears streaming. "You're better than me." "I'm not better," I said softly. "I'm careful. Observant. Patient. That's the difference." Sam nodded. "You really are quiet but loud at the right moment. Scary even." "I call it effective," I said. Lara's shoulders shook. I can't undo this." "You can't," I said. "But you can learn. That's all life allows sometimes." Victor's phone buzzed endlessly. He ignored it. Panic in his face was obvious. "You underestimated me," I said quietly. "And everyone else. That's the difference between arrogance and awareness." Lara whispered, I see it now. Too late. And it's my fault." "Yes," I said softly. "Exactly." I stepped forward. "I've been silent. Invisible. Mocked. But that silence was never empty. It was preparation. Patience. Strength." You're ruthless," she said. "I'm careful," I corrected. "Ruthless punishes. Careful survives. And sometimes, careful changes everything quietly." Sam shook his head. "You're a master of this." "I only mastered what life taught me," I said. "Patience. Observation. Silence." Lara's voice cracked. I never knew." "You should have," I said. "But you didn't. And that's the point." Victor slumped. I see it now. Too late." "Yes," I said quietly. "Too late for apologies. Too late for excuses. Too late to pretend silence is weakness." Lara turned, trying one last time. "Please, just one word from you. One chance." "I don't owe you anything," I said firmly. "I owe myself everything." she gasped. You're finally speaking for yourself. Yes, I said. For the first time I speak for me. Not for patience, not for silence, not for them. For myself. I looked at Sam. Some lessons only hit when it's too late. He nodded. You taught them all. Quietly. Perfectly. I turned toward the window, watching the city lights flicker. The weight of years lifted. And I whispered, softly but firmly, patience protects. Silence strengthens. Consequences arrive. And I finally speak for myself. Lara and Victor retreated. Sam stayed a moment, smiling faintly. You've changed everything, he said. I've changed myself, I said. And for the first time in years, the quiet man, mocked, ignored, underestimated, felt truly free.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.